Good morning. Please state your name and affiliation for the record.
Hey, good morning, Chairwoman Stepney and Director Franks, Director Morgan. My name is John Beckham. I'm the Managing Director of the North American Development Bank, often referred to as the NADBank. The bank is a binational development organization owned by the U.S. and Mexico, established in 1994 to invest in environmental infrastructure that improves the quality of life for residents along our shared border. For more than 30 years at the bank, water has been our top priority. And during that time, we've co-financed more than 20 water and wastewater projects with the Water Development Board. We think we can deepen that partnership. As is known by everyone in this room, the ongoing drought has placed extraordinary pressure along the border region. In May 2024, Hidalgo and Cameron counties both declared water emergencies. Similar effects have been taking place throughout the region. We've been actively engaged with different leadership stakeholders, citizens, residents, businesses in the border region to try to understand where we need to invest in the new challenges of the water and water use for our communities. As a result of that, in August of 2025, our board of directors established the $400 million Water Resiliency Fund. It's comprised of two big components, a $300 million portion of low interest and subsidized loans, and a $100 million grant program that is funded exclusively from the bank's retained earnings. Prepared to deploy $50 million of that throughout the U.S. region. Our first call, given the importance that I just talked about in the emergency within the Rio Grande Valley, our first call focused on the irrigation districts that often serve as the backbone of water distribution. That process concluded in February. And through that process, we've had 21 projects were submitted from 13 different irrigation districts with a total capital expenditure budget of $225 million. And $180 million of that total amount would need financing and funding of some sort. Also, we've done preliminary estimates on what the conservation and the water savings these projects should achieve, and those are preliminarily estimated at 55,000 acre-feet of water a year. This is enough to provide water for 600,000 residents per annum. As you all consider the implementation of HB 500 and Proposition 4, we believe that the $100 million that you have indicated can match the NADBank's Water Resiliency Fund. Our fund is designed to only provide up to 50% of the total capital expenditure. So we want to bring in other partners, and we think the Water Development Board is one such source. This type of coordinated investment accelerates the investment of high impact projects, and leveraging your funding with ours can deliver to the Rio Grande Valley faster and better results. The bank is conducting technical and financial due diligence on all the projects in the irrigation districts, including an affordability analysis to rank the projects. We expect to announce funding awards by late summer and look forward to collaborating with you all if you agree to proceed with us. By aligning state and our binational resources, we can strengthen irrigation districts, reduce water loss, and ensure that the communities of the Rio Grande Valley have the water security they need to continue growing and thriving. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Great. Do y'all have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
I had a few because this is one of the issues that we got lots of comments on. Can you just explain the process to me? To the board?
Sure.
How our $100 million will be paired with your, I guess, $150 million or $100 million to whatever the number is.
Sure. I think the key word that you use, Chairwoman, is pairing. Mm-hmm. The way we would ideally look to collaborate with the Water Development Board is we have a unified set of criteria, which we've shared with the staff. And then we each take the decisions we need to take to fund those deals. So it would be one process, ideally, with two checks, a check from the Development Board and a check from the North American Development Bank. That's at its simplest terms. The process that we have designed and shared with your staff basically has the types of projects: water conservation, water reuse, potable, indirect, canal lining, conversion of canals into tubes, pumping, things of that nature. And we've also looked to rank those criteria based on the number of residents served, the number of the amount of water that will be saved and conserved, as well as what is the financial affordability that each irrigation district would need to be able to close the funding gap with and get the total amount of capital deployed in infrastructure for the dollar. So that's the basic ideas of the criteria. We're doing that due diligence to make sure that what works in paper or in PowerPoint actually can be deployed on the ground. We want to also do some analysis on the baseline of the water that's currently being lost, measure that by what we expect to gain. And on those results, then we would all make our decisions. On the part of the bank, the way we make our decisions is we have a board of directors that is comprised of Treasury, EPA, and State Department of the United States, as well as our counterparts in Mexico, as well as 2 private citizens from each country. So a total of 10 board members. The project would go to the board. We have to update them in May 13th of this year. Our intent is to take the 20 plus projects we've received from 13 irrigation districts, package them and have one set of approvals with the board at some point in the midsummer. So that's the plan. We intend to update our board on May. Preliminary discussions indicate that they're comfortable with that approach conceptually. And as we do our due diligence, then we'll take that to the summer. And as I said earlier, expect to announce awards by the end of August. That's the way we foresee the process. We are open to adjusting as we need to make sure that we can leverage the resources in a way that's satisfactory to everybody. But I think there is urgency, and we do want to begin to move within this year to deploying funds to start getting projects that conserve water in the Rio Grande Valley.
Well, I agree with you. Of course, I have lots of experience with the Rio Grande. It's an important part of the state, and with the nature of the situation and the water levels, of course, in the Rio Grande itself, these are very important projects. I want to talk about time frames. You know, as Brian says, we're on the clock for making sure that we get these projects funded and the checks cut out of the Texas Water Development Board. And so it sounds like you guys are on the same page about urgency is of importance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then you said you're going to do an affordability analysis.
Correct.
And so once you've done all the math, you'll look at how much money is needed to be funded, and some of that will come from us, and then some of that will come from you.
Right. Correct. And the affordability analysis, different from what you all are considering, which is a 100% grant, we have a mix of low-rate loans and grants.
Okay.
So that mix is where we do our affordability analysis to see what's the right way to combine those 2 tools that we have in our tool chest. But that tool chest only goes up to 50% of the total capital expenditure. Okay.
And so if, I guess an entity, is this a correct statement? If you guys, your portion is grants, great, right? Right. If it's a low interest loan, they can decide if they want to take that piece or not? That's
correct. We live in the land of the free. No one's compelled to take anything.
Right.
But that's what we will put forward the best proposal we think we can for the consideration of the irrigation district.
Okay, and so I just think our agencies need to be in constant communication, which sounds like we are, to make sure that there's no delays in executing the funding. And the legislature has provided this for our Texas communities, and we just want to make sure that there's no delays and we put the best foot forward for, you said 55,000 acre feet potentially in savings with all the projects.
Correct.
Okay. Questions or comments?
I just kind of wanted to add on to your comments about this is a very unique opportunity for both of us, but it's also a unique funding stream, and there are significant challenges down there, especially with the affordability for some of these irrigation districts. So I know this is an interesting development, but I think that it will be helpful in solving the problem that we see down there. So we appreciate your partnership.